Right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good news stuff for you today, as usual. And let's get right into it. Number of crypto users nearly doubled in 2018. So, cryptocurrency gained 17 million verified users this year, according to a study published by the Cambridge Center of Alternative Finance. Love that name. So that's verified users. So according to the study, the data showed that in the first 3 quarters of 2018, the number of ID verified cryptocurrency users nearly doubled, climbing from 18 million to 35 million. So you can see in 2016 here, 45 million total accounts, with only 5 million total ID verified users, 85 million in 2017 as opposed to 18 million, and then 139 million users total accounts and 35 million total ID verified users in 2018. So regardless of the bear market, we can see that many more ID'd users are now joining in the cryptosphere, as well as just total accounts in general. Now, that could probably be tossed up to the fact that there's a lot of KYC, know your customer, on exchanges anymore. Back in the day, even just a couple years ago, as you can see by the chart, you could just sign up to an exchange with an email in 2015, 2014, and back. You could just sign up to an exchange with email and begin exchanging and trading and what have you on an exchange. And now anymore, it seems like more and more exchanges are actually requiring you to have ID to sign up. Now, that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing, and it depends on how you take a look at it. But either way, I think, throwing all of that aside, we can see that the number of crypto users is exponentially growing, essentially. Kind of, I don't know about exponentially, but it is definitely growing a lot. So according to the Bloomberg analysis of the study, the growth of the user base this year, while crypto markets decline, could signal that an eventual recovery could be coming, which I don't even know why people question it anymore. There's been so many crashes in crypto in the past that they're like, yeah, well, we don't know if it's going to come or not, and it could be coming. A recovery could be coming. Trust me, a recovery is coming sooner or later. So the analysis further notes that most users are likely still speculators and long-term investors. So either way you look at it, many more people in the cryptosphere, so don't capitulate just yet. Keep on hodling, and it's gonna turn around real soon. Or later, probably later. So moving on here, Ukraine's former prime minister suggests blockchain solution to the country's corruption problem. So there's a deeper story to this, and the former prime minister, she's the weirdest looking human being I've ever seen. It looks like her clothes are like way too big for her. Maybe she needs something that like fits a little bit better. I don't know if that's like the style in Ukraine or something. I don't know, but honey, you need some thinner clothes. That's all I'm saying. And I didn't mean that in like a bad way. It's just weird looking person. Ukraine's former prime minister, Yulia Tymoshenko, I got nothing, who is currently running a presidential campaign for the March 2019 elections, has proposed to counter the state's total corruption using blockchain. So she was the former prime minister of Ukraine in 2005 and from late 2007 to early 2010. Said in a Facebook post dedicated to International Anti-Corruption Day on Sunday that the technology can be an effective tool in public administration. She also suggested the use of blockchain to store state registers as a measure to avoid tampering and authority over the data. Among other measures, she also urged to protect the country's courts from the influence of politicians, to sue officials that accept bribes, and to accept monopolies. So this is not the first time that Tymoshenko, again, whatever, has talked about the potential use of blockchain in the fight against corruption. So speaking, she said, blockchain is a perfect anti-corruption technology, which is proven by international practice in order to completely eliminate corruption in public registries and to protect each citizen's personal data. And we have to transfer all administration systems to blockchain. Now, I kind of agree with this, but at the same time, going to be easier said than done, because if you're going to stop corruption, then the people who are corrupted are going to fight this with every nail and tooth. Now, this kind of reminds me of the United States in the sense that in the last 17 years, I think it was like 2001 to 2018, something like the last 17 years, there has been a missing budget of $21 trillion Now that's both in and outgoing from the CIA, and just 21 trillion can't be accounted for. So the entire GDP of the United States is something like 16 trillion, somewhere around there. I don't have the exact number, but just go with it. So that's like way more in 17 years than in just 1 year of total GDP. Just totally missing. And I think in 2000 or maybe 2001, Donald Rumsfeld said that he couldn't attribute something like $2 or $3 trillion just for that year missing from the CIA. They just lost it. Which, trust me, guys, they didn't lose it. It just goes to black budget projects and military and et cetera, and probably in the hands of corrupt politicians, exactly like this says. So blockchain kind of would be a perfect situation for this, because if it's just in the ledger and it's publicly visible and it can't be changed, then that means you couldn't just like do this with money and just send it all in different directions. So 21 trillion just missing. Just how you miss 21 trillion. I could see, like, you know, opening up your bank account and being like, man, I had $500 in my bank account and I woke up this morning with just 450. Something happened along the night and I can't remember what happened. But 21 trillion, it's a different story. How do you lose that? And it's not lost. It's just, it's well hidden, let's say. So moving on to the next article here, report Lightning Network still way off being ready for commercial use. Now, this is a Bitcoin.com article, which, again, Bitcoin.com, you'd be like, wow, that must be a great place to buy some Bitcoin. No, it's a Bitcoin Cash website, so let's just make that abundantly clear, just in case, like, anybody didn't know that, like, right off the bat. Bitcoin.com is a Bitcoin Cash website. Who would have thought, right? The Lightning Network is a second layer protocol that was long promised as a solution to Bitcoin's scalability problem. And I still believe that it is a solution to Bitcoin's scalability problem. However, the off-chain system is still very far from being able to support actual commerce, according to a new review, which I also agree with. Lightning Network is a little jacked up. And Lightning Network is incredibly difficult to use. So I can't help but to agree with this article, even though it is a Bitcoin.com article, and it's really meant to bash the Lightning Network scalability and, you know, probably make you think twice about it and go, man, I bet Bitcoin Cash is the solution, huh? So the report's developers created a Lightning add-on for Scipio ERP that provides businesses with the ability to use the system. Then they tested the network in order to see if it was really ready for commerce. On the positive side, the test confirmed that under best conditions, payment confirmations were reached within 5 to 10 seconds. Excellent. However, they revealed many crucial flaws, and there are many crucial flaws in the Lightning Network. So Lightning Network to make it very hard to implement clustering, meaning running several redundant servers simultaneously, which is a critical feature for online retailers. Implementing it, particularly in a dynamic cloud setup, would require a lot of workarounds. And the network has a bad user experience, in sharp contrast to that provided by most payment providers, who make the process of setting up and integrating as fast and painless as possible. So the system is also incredibly difficult to use, and that's true too. I'm going to attest to that because you know, the Bitcoin Reddit, the crypto Reddits and stuff like that, when Lightning Network was coming about, everybody was asking, hey, how can I make a Lightning Network node? And they're like, hey, just go to this handy dandy step-by-step process website. And it consisted of like 100 steps of what you have to do to make a Lightning Network, which for the average person was insanely confusing. The report lists over a dozen steps needed for merchants and close to 10 steps required of customers to make payments. Exactly. So it's also a resource hog, requiring a Bitcoin node and a Lightning Network node installed on the same server as the business application, all of which require a lot of time to set up and configure. If one of the system fails, your business application will not be able to handle cryptocurrency transactions. So it's even more problematic, as redundancy cannot be easily achieved. So, you know, the test found that the Lightning Network is still very early stage of development, and we have been operating the system for 4 months, and crashes can and will happen all the time. Transaction channels can close or may not have enough peers at any time, and there are no push notifications for these events, so you won't know until a new transaction is placed and it fails. So there is a lot of problems right now with Lightning Network, and hopefully in time those get smoothed out. But for now, Lightning Network is really not particularly viable, and it kind of sucks to say that, because I was sort of a fan of when it came out, and the idea that we could have a third layer situation which speeds up this process, because the big problem with Bitcoin is that as soon as a lot of people start using it, fees go way up, transactions start to slow down, and that's not very good for commerce. That's not very good for a mass, situation in terms of Bitcoin. But of course, there are many other cryptos that are much faster. In fact, there's a lot of cryptos that are a lot faster in terms of transactions than Bitcoin Cash. So I don't know where Bitcoin Cash gets off saying that it's better than Bitcoin, because then you could just argue that a lot of other coins are even better than that. Either way, let's move on to the next one. Venezuela converts pension bonuses into state-issued crypto petro. So Venezuela, at it again. Now, I don't mean to bash them too much, because maybe in genuinely, giving them the benefit of the doubt, playing devil's advocate here, maybe Venezuela is truly trying to get away from their horrible inflation situation, and they're just trying to convert everything into the petro so that that one day they'll be a rich nation, and that'll be great. That would be great, but it's not looking so good. If you guys watch my channel often, you'll know that once in a while I do make a new, talk about a news article about the petro, and eesh, that's about all you can say to it, is that it's really grim. It doesn't look good. Venezuela has automatically converted pensioners' most recent monthly bonus into its national oil-backed cryptocurrency. Oh, thanks, Venezuela, because that's what we wanted. To the petro. So according to a report from English Language Politics. So first launched as a pre-sale in February, the controversial petro has been in circulation as one of Venezuela's 2 official currencies. The second being a rebranded fiat currency, the bolivar. Which is indexed to the petro. So according to the Caracas Chronicles, pensioners' recent government payouts December 7th arrived initially in BSS to pensioners' web fiat wallets, but were automatically withdrawn and converted into petro, with the new balance reportedly accompanied by a laconic description, savings in petro. The blog reproduces the alleged message sent to pensioners as follows. Motherland wallet credit for an amount of blah blah blah. So basically credited as the petro. Well, thanks, Venezuela. That's great. That's like if your pension was just happened to be credited into some kind of terrible altcoin, and you'd be like, wait a minute, why? Because the American government was like, no, this is good. This is a good cryptocurrency. It's backed by oil and metals and diamonds, I think, and something else that they were talking about. So it's just like, yeah, we'll pay, oil doesn't work, so let's throw in these other commodities too, and we'll just change it as needed. So the petro. At it again. Good job, petro. You guys are awesome. Anyway, moving on to this Reddit post by a random user. Now, this isn't necessarily news, but this is exactly how I feel about institutional investing in crypto. I feel that it sort of defeats the purpose. It's like the antithesis of crypto. If you're really excited for institutional investors to come into crypto and really take it over, it just like defeats the purpose of crypto in the first place. So let me read this to you guys, and I'm not sure if I could have wrote this any better myself. Perhaps I would have thrown in additional things, but this is just So whoever wrote this, I just enjoy it. Community sentiment has shifted from, so let me tell you the article name. So it's Bitcoin has been usurped by the same forces it was created to subvert. So community sentiment has shifted from a focus on monetary self-sovereignty separate from central financial institutions to desperately hoping that those same institutions pump their money bags so that they can cash out as millionaires. Indeed. That's a little fishy. The price of Bitcoin is completely controlled by these institutions. Many refuse to believe it, but this is extremely naive to think otherwise. If you know what you're looking for, the footprints of large institutional sponsorship are very obviously painted all over the Bitcoin charts and have been for many years. All the screams of institutional money is coming is just naive people who don't understand how financial markets are made. The institutions are already in and have been for a long time and are still coming and will be even stronger every day that moves on, in my opinion, probably before you invested The frameworks for long-term control are already being established. Regulation, paper trading, cash-settled futures, ETFs, institutional-grade custody solutions, etc. I think there is a good chance Bitcoin will go on another bull run in a few years, but I think there's little to no chance that it fulfills its original purpose as acting as a peer-to-peer digital cash. Bitcoin, in a sense, I cannot disagree with this article in the least, or with this statement by this person. We're urging institutional investors to come in to raise the price for us, but what you don't understand is that there is being a long-term control of, again, regulation that is going to slow the person down. Paper trading, cash-settled futures. Futures are trading more Bitcoin than are even in circulation. That doesn't make any sense. It's just like what the banks are doing. They're giving out loans more than what they actually have. And that's what we hated for so long. The Occupy Wall Street movement, where everybody's just marching down Wall Street. And, the video that you can find on YouTube, I urge you guys to watch it. It's when everybody's marching through Wall Street, whether or not they were correct in marching, whether or not you agree with the Occupy Wall Street movement, throw all that out. If you watch that video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They're marching through Wall Street, and up on the balconies, there's a bunch of likely rich individuals, and that's their thing. If you're rich, that's fine, you know what I mean? And they're drinking champagne. They specifically went out with champagne and wine, and were recording it with their cell phones as everybody was marching across, through the streets. And it was just like a slap in the face. It was like they were laughing, they were pointing at people, and that's exactly the people we're working against. And that's exactly why people started to get into Bitcoin. That's exactly why Bitcoin was made in the first place. Not because of the Occupy Wall Street movement, but more so the housing crisis and various other crises that occurred in the past. And so somebody or some group of individuals decided, hey, we should make Bitcoin, we should make a peer-to-peer digital cash that requires work to be put into it, and let's do this. And it took off. And people were like, hey, one day this is going to be the world currency. One day we're all going to use this, and we're not going to use fiat. And then one day, a few years later, Bitcoin starts going down in price, and then we start getting words of futures markets, which, again, futures came out on December 17th, December 18th. Boom. We have never been to that high since, and maybe we will one day. But that didn't help us. That didn't help us one bit. Then we have Jamie Dimon saying it's a bubble, it's a scam, don't buy it. This is nonsense. If any of my traders are caught trading Bitcoin in JP Morgan, I will fire them. And then JP Morgan weeks later is like, hey, we're opening a crypto trading desk. So it's all the same people that we were fighting against, all the same institutions that Bitcoin was against. People are now arguing that they pick up the tab and start buying so that your Bitcoin goes up in price. But I feel that is incredibly greedy, incredibly naive. And one day we will all see 10 years down the line, there will be institutional grade custody solutions and cash settled futures and paper trading where we're trading millions more Bitcoin that even exist because it's futures, because you're just betting on the price and you're getting your money and you're not actually holding Bitcoin. And I think one day we'll soon find out that this was all a real bad idea to let institutional investors into crypto. And I'm just calling it now that don't be happy for institutional investors to come in. Just because it raises the price of your crypto means that, in the future, this is all for nothing. All of the crypto, all of the work that all of us put into this so that we could stop using fiat, so that we could stop relying on the government of just producing your money and giving out loans that they don't have. Very unfortunate that nobody is really very particularly concerned about this. So looking at CoinMarketCap here, we have a market cap of 105 billion. So we are going down, as you can see on the charts here, down, 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 everything way down. The massive loser of the day, Dex, Augur, etc. And we have a few winners, but again, most of them are just everything is way down again. So we're only $5 billion away from under a $100 billion market cap again. And here we go again, guys. So down, up, according to JR Garage and Business, who should probably in prison. All these coins are lit, bro, and they go up and down. That's all I have to say about today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.